On this episode of the Star Trek Universe podcast, it is Picard Day, and we have a freaking trailer, my friends. And we're also going to talk about the casting of Star Trek Prodigy. All after these words from people we don't have any control over.
Welcome to the Star Trek Universe podcast, the podcast where you get to listen in on the continuing Star Trek conversation that two lifelong friends have been having since they were 5 years old. My name is Matthew Carroll.
And I'm David C. Robertson.
Dave-O, it's been far too long. How are you?
I don't know.
I hear that. I've my apologies to the listeners. I have had a really hard few months, with family stuff and traveling so much, and it's been a lot, and I have not been able to get over to this cast in this downtime. So good to be back, though. Good to talk about some new content, some Picard trailer, Picard season 2. Love it.
Yes, I'm very excited about this. And
Same.
I don't even know. Like, I forgot to look up last time and this time. So I don't know what TOS best episode of TOS we're supposed to be watching next.
Oh yeah.
But and I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. We'll get to it real soon, actually.
It's Matt's fault.
Yeah,
he just said it.
Fully my fault. My mom's been sick, and my father passed away, actually, and all that stuff has just led to my family needing a lot more support lately, and it's just been hard to get to a cast that while I want to be doing it, there's no content currently, so it's like every other fire is taking precedence, basically. Right. But I do want to finish those 5 before we get to new content, which is probably this summer sometime, right? We think?
It's August, I think.
August, okay. We got 3 episodes.
I want to say it's 9 weeks until
cool. Well, the next
Lower Decks.
after Black Widow, I should have some free time. I'm trying to finish. I'm doing the Star Trek album, which a lot of you heard me do the work of, just completed and got sent to the printers. The double album about Picard.
Nice. And
so it's finished. It's off my plate. It's in the printer, and now I'm trying to get done with a Black Widow album that is all about the Black Widow appearances. And I've written all but one song, and I'm basically just trying to get time to record it. So over the next 3 weeks, I'm trying to record 8 songs or whatever. But after that, I'll have some free time. Well, hopefully, if family stuff pending. But let's talk about this Picard trailer, man. How about it?
All right.
Let's get into it. If you haven't seen it yet, this new trailer is up. The Star Trek Twitter account posted it.
Yeah.
We'll put a link in the show notes.
Yeah, it's all over the place though. It's on YouTube. It's
search Star Trek Picard trailer 2 season 2. It's pretty fun. Let's get right into it. What do you think, man?
Sure. I'm so excited.
The first, I don't know. I'm excited. I am excited, but I guess there's not too much in. I like the idea. Okay, it's time travel of some sort, or some. Right. They say time is what's the wording they use? Time is
broken. Time is broken. Time has been broken is what it says.
Right, and everyone seems to have some sort of difference about their character. Major difference, like they're on a different timeline, possibly. But it seems that clearly they seem confused by it. So our crew is somehow unaffected by the timeline mentally, but they know that there's these differences. And of course, the real lead is Q shows up, and we see Q, an elderly Q, for the first time. He looks awesome. He looks freaking awesome.
Yeah, he does.
Got that huge corsage or whatever. Corsage. How do you say that word?
Yeah, I love his oh, Jean-Luc, you look older than than I would have imagined or whatever. That was great.
Yeah. His voice sounds great. His voice sounds so much like it did in TNG. Like I can't.
Oh, yeah.
Picard sounds very rattly and old, but it does.
Like an old jalopy.
He has, and maybe it's sort of an effect he's doing for this character because he's supposed to be like 90 or whatever. But John Delancey comes in, like when I first heard his voice, I was like, are we going to turn around and see like a young Q? Like, are they going to do the de-aging thing?
I don't know.
I'm glad they didn't, because they didn't do a good job of that last season, but still.
I mean, they might still do it to some degree. You remember how how Q's age would change in All Good Things based on where he was in the timeline with Picard.
Sure. Yeah, that's true. Maybe we'll get some jumping around.
And we did jump. In the trailer, we did jump back to like Picard in Starfleet, and Q says in the trailer, "Welcome, my friend, to the very end of the road not taken." Mm-hmm. So this is another tapestry situation. I don't even know what this is, because they released a poster. For Star Trek Picard season 2, and it's 21st century Los Angeles.
21st century Los Angeles. Okay.
Yeah, it is like modern day, current day Los Angeles, with like the freeways are like crossing over each other and like sort of making the Starfleet symbol. So like clearly it looks like they're going to be in 21st century Los Angeles at some point.
Weird. Like current day. Interesting.
Yeah.
So in Tapestry, it was basically Q just showing him
the road not taken.
The road not taken. So like that seemed to be just a Q thing. It didn't seem like that timeline exists necessarily. But this seems like welcome to the very end of the road not taken is very interesting, because it sounds like it's like a continuation of that story, and we're going to find out where he would have ended up if he'd continued on that sort of weaker story of Picard, where he played it safe, as it were.
Or possibly Star Trek Picard in its entirety is the road not taken.
What do you mean?
Like season 1 was like the beginning of the road, or the end, or the middle of the road not taken, and now come to the end of the road not taken. So
you're saying that season 1 would have happened in that original time, in the Tapestry timeline?
Maybe not the Tapestry timeline per se, but some alternate reality. Like, which one is the alternate reality? Is the Picard season 1 that we already watched, was that in the alternate reality? Or is this weird alternate reality that we're seeing in this season 2 trailer, where, Seven doesn't have her implants, and the captain of, I can't remember the name of that ship now, he has a Starfleet symbol on, and, what if this alternate take that we're seeing here in the trailer is really the primary timeline, and the first season of Picard is the alternate timeline?
I don't know why you would assume that. I think like that could be, but I feel like it would be really strange, because it would be kind of duping us. Fans, we watched for an entire season. This is the prime timeline, and then they're just saying like that's. I don't know why you would assume that, and it seems like a big leap to me. But,
I'm not assuming that.
Okay, I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying like. It would be a weird thing to assume, and the fact that these characters seem to remember that this is wrong, what they're going through now is wrong. So I would assume that season 1 is the prime timeline, and that the characters that we have spent a season getting to know are the characters that they are. But yeah, I don't know. I don't. There's no reason it couldn't be that way. It just seems like it would be a really weird choice.
Oh, it would be a weird choice, but also like, I think I'm trying to second guess Star Trek now, because I'm like, they've been trying to get all like mind-bendy, plot twisty on us for a while now. So I just sort of naturally want to gravitate towards that and just be like, are you guys trying to pull one over on us? What are we doing here?
Nah, I think that this is looking like we're going to spend possibly the entire season in some sort of, either Q-based or some other timeline shifting, where they're trying to figure out what and why they're doing it. And it's interesting when you look at these seasons of things like Discovery, but also Picard season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Often, because of the serialized nature of these new Star Trek shows, you end up hanging a lot on one storyline. You know what I mean? Like, an episode of Star Trek, and this is something to be said for the sort of more episodic nature of the old Star Trek series, is like, you got 22 bites at the apple. You know what I mean? Like, you got 22 chances to make something that was like, or 26 in many cases, that was iconic. Right.
You want to go back to the original.
Yeah. You had like 26 bites of the apple to make an iconic episode.
Mm-hmm.
And with this, you've got one shot to make the right choice on what season 2 of Picard is about. And kind of the same thing with season 1, like, you know, all this mystery, and we were debating, was it was it lore? Was it this? Was it that? Like, what's happening here? And it ended up being what it is, and they have to make a choice, you know? When you have 30 chances, it's like, if 6 of those are good, we all believe how great that season of TNG was because those 6 episodes were amazing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because 6 great sci-fi writers came up with 6 very interesting concepts. And so, like, it's hard to, like, speculate really hard about what's going on here because, like, I don't know. They only have one chance to make a decision about what Picard is doing this season, you know? And it seems like, based on this trailer, that they're going with this, like, timeline shifting deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know.
And it gets them data back.
It could.
I mean, we've already gotten some confirmation that Data is going to be involved. So,
oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was on purpose, but yeah.
That's it. All right.
I mean, they might, you know, go back on that now, but
I'm pretty annoyed if they bring Data back, honestly. Like,
well, I mean, if it's an alternate timeline, what's the harm?
No, my annoyance is based in the fact that, like, them killing him off kind of made no sense.
Yeah.
And, like, the only real reason to do it, I guess, is if Brent Spiner doesn't want to do it anymore. And then if Brent Spiner comes back anyway, I'm like, I'm tired of these actors being like, I'm done, kill me off. And then, like, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, it happens.
It does. It's happened all along, and it annoys me because it, like, makes the writers.
Stakes. There's no stakes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
they don't eat those in the future. They're more evolved.
Right. Yeah.
But just, I guess, like, talk about each of these, like, moments in the trailer, like what's going on here. And we've got shots of the vineyard. We've got shots of him inside. He's wearing a black Starfleet uniform. What do we think about that? I was surprised at first just to see that he's in a Starfleet uniform, because even though at the end he kind of came to terms with it, he wasn't in Starfleet last we saw him.
Right. And he's like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah. Oh, and Varys is missing. His helpers are missing.
Yeah, Varys is gone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, which we saw her briefly in the trailer, so she is back as far as we know.
Mm-hmm.
In some capacity.
And also seems like aware that something is wrong. Like, all of the characters we see seem like aware. So why are they aware? And is it Laris? Is that her name?
Yeah, Laris.
Okay, I thought it was Varys for some reason. So Laris...
Well, you're Varys wrong. That noise was the sound of me hating myself.
I liked it.
You always do. You always love that sound.
No, I like the joke. All right, and then so he's kind of holding his head. There's sort of like a confusion. He hears Q's voice, and then Q appears on screen, looking dapper as hell. I love it.
Yeah. I love it, and I also hate it that every time Q shows up, Picard stares at him and goes, Q. Like, Q knows who he is. Like, why do you have to say his name over and over again?
Well, I feel like he's surprised. He wasn't expecting. Q knows who he is, but he wasn't expecting Q at this moment.
Yeah.
And it's like a revelation every time, because there's always something crazy going on. Then he's like, of course, it's Q.
Mm-hmm.
And then it cuts to him giving some sort of talk or something at Starfleet, and there's a bunch of Starfleet flags. I wish I was better at being an eagle eye cut guy here, because I bet there's some interesting stuff going on with these flags.
I doubt it.
Maybe not. Well, like just looking at it, there's a Klingon flag there. At this
just
point,
the Federation.
Well, are the Klingons in the Federation now?
I mean, they might be at this point. We don't know. We actually do not know what is going on with the Klingons.
Actually, looking at it now, this is not just the Federation. Now that I'm looking at it, we have, I'm looking at it bigger screen. Are you looking at it as well, or no?
Yeah. It says a Starfleet Command.
Right. They're at Starfleet Command, but look at all the flags. We've got the Klingon Empire on the far left, I believe. Mm-hmm. Who do we know who that is to the second, just to the right of the Klingon Empire?
I don't recognize the blue flag.
I see it as green, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm colorful. I'm colorblind.
And then there's a Federation flag, and then there's the Starfleet Command, and then
that's the San Francisco Shipyard Starfleet Academy flag.
And then is this Vulcan here?
Yeah, that's the IDIC symbol.
Vulcan. And
then the next one is Bajor.
Yes, Bajor, which I may have joined by now. And then on the far right, I recognize that, but I can't place it.
I do too. I recognize the symbol. I've got figures who are standing on that symbol in my living room. I don't remember what it is though.
Dang. It's like like an orange and green and yellow flag with some symbol on it. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't place that flag, but anyway.
It's clearly the Federation though.
Or it's a meeting between the Federation and some other people. Because last we heard, but Bajor was not part of the Federation, but could be now. I forget. I don't know who this green and orange is. And the Klingon Empire definitely was not part of the Federation, although they were allies at the time. So it could be also some sort of meeting of other. Maybe they're trying to expand the Federation, or don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
no, that's the Ferengi symbol.
That's it. Okay. So yeah, Ferengi definitely were not in the Federation last we knew.
Right.
So this seems like it might be some sort of like summit, or this is revealing that those races have joined the Federation.
Mm-hmm.
I love that kind of stuff. I love knowing what the world building of like where these other species are in relation to the Federation.
Yeah, but again, this looks like an alternate timeline, so who knows?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, for some reason I'm sitting here like thinking about what this means for the timeline, and like, oh right, it might mean absolutely nothing because this is not our timeline.
Right.
Or at least, probably not our timeline. # not my timeline.
Right. It would be funny and disappointing if this season became a course correction. Like, if they just decided, like, oh, yeah, people were upset with how dark Picard season 1 was. We're just gonna like, that was an alternate reality.
I don't think they would do that. I just don't think they would do that.
I don't know. I don't mind them making the first season an alternate reality. I just don't want them to do it because of fan pressure.
Sure. If that was part of the plan all along, it's one thing, but it's different if it's just like fans don't like something, they keep changing it. Discovery kind of did that. Season 2 was like a big correction. They didn't change timelines, but they rewrote like everything, a lot of the decisions they'd made.
Well, they also went through a lot of showrunners because of like behind the scenes abuse.
Right.
So,
next shot we get these two people running through some sort of market.
That looks like, what was his name?
Elnor?
Elnor, that's it. And Rafi is what it looks like.
Oh, is it Rafi?
It looks like her to me.
I can't tell. That lady looks younger to me, but I may be mistaken. She has very different hair there. But you may be right.
Know.
Maybe her hair
She's got kind of frizzy hair. I don't know.
Maybe her hair is just more. They've like curled her hair extra. If that's Raffi, I think I may be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's been a while. It's been like a year and a half since we've seen these characters.
I'm kind of old. My eyes don't work.
Well, it's also backlit and dark, and you can't really see your face very well.
But we didn't see them anywhere else in the trailer, so I would assume that would have to be them.
That's true. Yeah, if they're kind of showing all of the characters, then they probably. So I wonder if this is sort of like, I'm trying to think of what story this reminds me of. Like, a story where a bunch of characters sort of realize that their timeline's not the right one, and they all meet up to try to change it, or like try to get back to their timeline or something.
Sort of yesterday's Enterprise.
Okay.
Which I think Guinan was really the only one who knew that something was really wrong, and then had to tell Picard about it, and then wound up telling Yar, alternate universe, I'm still alive, Yar, about it.
That's right. And we do get Laris looking out of a door as it looks like a craft is landing. So I'm assuming that's maybe Picard going to find her. So maybe she's all these other characters seem like they're realizing something's wrong. Maybe she's just like confused because Picard is coming to see her, and she's like, who's this guy? So
yeah, maybe.
So my thinking is, if the people that are involved remember and no one else does, maybe it has something to do with their ship. Like they were on the ship when something happened, or, you know, they were within, it's similar to like First Contact where they were inside the warp bubble or whatever. Like it would make sense if everyone on the ship remembers, but like no one else does.
Yeah. I would love it if they tied it into the temporal war that's been mentioned on Enterprise and Discovery.
Ooh, yeah, that would be really interesting.
But, you know, if I go that way in my brain, I'm going to come up with way more interesting things than what they'll do.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. It's like, we had so many fun plans and ideas last season, and they didn't work out. And then I've also really recently been bitten by WandaVision, where on the Marvel podcast, we went really deep on like what they were going to do with all the different comics characters that were coming, and then none of that happened. So like, I feel like all of fandom is a little speculation shy right now. Like all of us, like even some of the biggest, you know, YouTubers and stuff are going, I know I said stuff like this last time, but maybe this will happen. But that sucks because it like kind of ruins the fun of stuff like this. Like I love speculating. It's so much fun.
Well, maybe they'll just, you know, turn it into a situation where, like an American Idol situation. So you can take the most popular or like the biggest theories for a TV show and just have them like vote on, America votes on which one is the best, and that's what happens on the show. And then the majority of fandom is always pleased.
I'm actually shocked that that's never happened. Like,
it would just be too hard to do, I think.
Well, kind of, depending on the kind of show you do. Like, you know, like soap operas, for instance. They make a different episode every day. You could easily set up, and I think it would be amazingly popular, a soap opera where you got to vote on what happens.
Well, they did it in a comic book, but there's evidence to suggest that was heavily gamed.
Sure. And they might put their thumb on the scale, and even by offering options, you put your thumb on the scale, you know? So like, I actually think that's like not a bad idea at all. All these ladies that like the soap opera, and kind of soap operas have kind of died now, but like, I'm surprised that while they were still the big thing, like in daytime TV, that didn't happen. Right. Because that definitely overlapped with, American Idol, and you can totally imagine like, you know, all these, and not just ladies, men like them too, but it's predominantly ladies, love these shows. These people are sitting at home loving these shows. If they could have like participated, it would have made it even more fun for them, I feel like.
Look, I haven't watched a soap opera in 20 years or so. For all I know, they did do that.
Maybe they did. I never heard of it, but yeah.
Me either.
Anyway, I'm surprised there hasn't been.
I have my finger on the pulse.
I just think of that because they have such a short production window. I also thought of something like South Park, that animation style they use. They do a weekly episode. They like write it and then release it like 2 weeks later or something. So you could also have that as a model. Anyway, that's interesting. Or a podcast audio series. Maybe we should do it, man.
No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of work for like...
I want creative control.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It sounds like a lot of work for a thing you wouldn't have creative control over in the end.
Yeah. It's like, relationship goals. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Stop thinking everybody has to be together.
You're like, yeah, there's these big companies putting their thumb on the scale. You would totally put your thumb on the scale.
No, I wouldn't even embark on that endeavor in the first place.
Right,
I'm just
right.
No, we're not doing that.
Then we get a shot of Soji / Daj. I'm assuming it's Soji because she was the one that was alive in the last season, but it being an alternate timeline, you know,
who knows?
Her living here on Earth, it looks like it could be Daj.
Is this some kind of wedding gown? Because she's got two rings that are like together.
Didn't she have a symbol like that last season, like on a necklace?
Oh, for the twins.
That was for the twins, I believe.
Maybe so.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But it is a white outfit, so
yeah,
I was curious.
I wasn't assuming wedding, but it could be.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I doubt it now.
Then we get a shot of oh gosh, what's her name? Girardi. Goodness, what's her first name? Okay, Girardi.
I don't remember.
Sorry, I feel like I knew her so well a year ago, and now I'm like, who's this lady?
Right? Yeah.
I remember her character well, but I did not remember her name. Wow. God.
Yeah.
Okay, Girardi is in prison, it looks like to me. Like that looks like a prison
outfit.
Like that
to you?
It does.
Agnes Girardi. I don't think I did know Agnes.
I remember them saying it now, but Girardi must be what we called her all the time.
Yeah, it just looks like she's in like the standard blue sci-fi place. Like,
yeah, but
this means nothing to me.
The look on her face, the shape of the. I agree that maybe I'm wrong, but that's my first jump, and maybe it's based on the fact that she like last season should have been headed toward prison, and maybe it's I don't know. It's interesting. Like she looks a little. It looks a little like that might be something. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like she's in the same place as Rios is, honestly, the ship, which now appears to be a Starfleet ship. Yeah,
because Rios is wearing a Starfleet symbol, but also there's a Starfleet symbol on his chair.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's pretty cool.
And he's looking down at that symbol like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, exactly. So I think whatever this is, like the people on the ship somehow knew. Or somehow going to know what's going on. So then we get another shot. Yep, you're right. I think that is Raffi and Elnor. They're behind Picard in that next shot.
Oh yeah. They are there, aren't they?
And Girardi as well. So it looks like he's collecting everybody from last season. So I'm guessing they were on the ship, and he's trying to figure out what's going on, what happened to them. Then we get a really interesting sequence of 7 of 9 waking up. She gets a little more time than anyone else in this trailer. Everyone else gets a single shot. She gets like a full sequence. Looking down at some sort of symbol, and
I don't know this symbol.
I don't either. It looks familiar though. It looks almost like a space probe from one of the episodes that I'm like trying to place. Like a TNG era space probe that they had to like face off with at one point. But I'm really not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a little like star that I'm guessing goes on her. That's like whatever organization she's working for that we don't even know what it is.
And it looks like it's like a solar system with like little planets in it. Yep.
Looks like a solar system, and that I'm guessing is the star at the center of the solar system.
Yeah, someone was saying it looks kind of mirror universe-y but I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I wouldn't jump to that, but it looks like a symbol we don't know, so I'm curious.
Yeah, I don't know it.
Of course, this is an alternate timeline, so who knows what it is.
I'm also very bad at remembering all of the symbols.
Right, me too.
So, I kind of feel like someone's going to be like, you fool.
Right.
Don't you understand? It was blah, blah, blah from this episode. And I'm like,
Yeah, it absolutely could be something we're just not catching. But, the two of us, okay, this quorum of two of two Star Trek fans does not recognize it. So who knows what it is? Someone does, I'm sure. Or it's brand new. So then we cut to, the big reveal of the 7 moment, which is that her implants are gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming Miss Annika is never was assimilated.
Either that, or she went into Starfleet after she got back from the Delta Quadrant, and they
removed them like they removed Picard
in some way.
Yeah, it's possible. The idea of her implants is that she was always in for so long that like they couldn't take them out. They had like bonded to her neural pathways or whatever. So like, it's possible, but I think like this being an alternate reality, my guess is that she's just never been assimilated. That's my guess.
I make no guesses.
I make all the guesses. That's what I'm here for, baby.
Nope. I refused. I refuse to take that leap.
Don't refuse the call, man. Don't refuse the call.
Be like jumping into the freaking Pawwraith fire pit. You'll know what you're jumping into.
Yeah, man. I love it. I love jumping into Pawwraith fire pits all day. Give me that sweet, I don't know, text of the evil space monsters. Okay, I don't know. The Pawwraith, is there just one Pawwraith? There's a whole group of Pawwraiths, right?
I mean, they were the evil prophets. I thought there were multiple.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember if there was like a single, like a devil, like I vaguely remember it being like a devil-like figure. Then that the Pawwraith were like, I guess maybe that's the devil and all his demons or something. Like they were cast out of the celestial temple. Anyway, that's the trailer.
Yeah, that's the trailer. Memory Alpha definitely seems to indicate that they were beings, not just one.
Okay. Yeah, I remember the Pawwraith, that word seeming plural to me. But it's been a long time. Okay. So, what do we got? There was one other news story. Is there anything else you want to say about this trailer? What are you most excited about? I don't know.
I am just excited about Q. I'm excited that John Delancey has indicated that he is filming for season 3 as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I don't know what any of that means. I'm trying to not have any real expectations because I feel like having expectations is what kind of like screwed me up on season 1.
I hear that.
Made me enjoy it less.
I hear that, but I don't know, man. Sometimes you truncate your expectations of both canon and and the epicness of what they might do, you know what I mean? To the point that you're missing out on the other fun parts, which is I think the speculation and that's what we do here, So I don't know. I don't want you to you do you, but I love the speculation. I loved our conversations about, what lore might, that lore might show up to free the photons. That's a great story that we, got to tell on our podcast, even if it wasn't, what they ended up doing, and that's the fun stuff to me. That's the most memorable thing from our Picard coverage to me was not us breaking down the episode, but us having fun speculating about what it could be, given all the toys they have to work with. What could they be doing? And I don't know. Yeah, let's have fun. Let's just have fun here. But I hear you. Want to just enjoy the show.
I also and I'll go into it here. And I'm sorry for people who have listened to me talk about this ad nauseum. Honestly, what I'm hoping is that this does tie into Temporal War, and it does explain some of the discrepancies between the original series and Discovery.
Right.
That's just what I want. That's always what I want. I want canon issues to be dealt with while also providing an intellectually stimulating story and a satisfactory tale or arc for our characters.
Right.
I don't, my enjoyment is not dependent upon the canon issues, but I of course want the canon issues, if not resolved, explained on some level, which for me, in my head canon, it already has been because of all the Temporal War shit that was explained in Discovery Season 4.
Sure. Now that we have the Temporal War and all the possibilities of all these multiple timelines, or things that might have been changed in our prime timeline, that explains it, but it is
it explains it, but I love time travel so much, and I love alternate universes so much, I want them to do it. I want to see it.
Yeah.
And that's just me, enjoying that kind of crap.
I know. That's
why I really being into that.
Trying to get you to go watch Loki this week.
Yeah, but I need a minute.
I hear you
on Marvel stuff.
I hear you. I just I think that Loki is so up your alley because it's like really been grounded in like this sort of like relationship, good acting stuff going on, but like also really, really about time travel and multiverse and like really getting into the nuts and bolts of it. It's been like Marvel, but a really good Doctor Who episode. Like I'm really excited about it.
Fair enough.
I just think you'd love it. Even if you needed to skip other shows to get to it, like I think it's just so super good.
Yeah, well, you know, I need to catch up on Marvel stuff just so I can be caught up. They're actually coming out with stuff so quickly now that I'm starting to get a little, I'm getting a little anxiety over it.
I hear that. That's how I was with DC. I had to just like step away because but they were doing like 6 episodes a week or whatever with all these like series, and I was like, I just can't. And I'm too much of a purist and like too much of a completist to like watch one thing. So I'm just gonna be out for a while, and maybe I'll find some time in the future, and that has not happened yet. So it sucks because I really like the idea. Like I still haven't seen the CW crossover stuff from the last like 3 years.
Oh, geez.
I know, and I really want to. Like I've still been avoiding spoilers, and I know there's like big like I know big characters show up even from the movies and stuff, and I'm just like, why it? But I just haven't because I'm like 4 seasons behind it or whatever, or 2 or 3 seasons behind it. Yeah,
Crisis I thought was great. And so was the crossover before that. Elseworlds was really great.
I think I saw Elseworlds. I think that's where I stopped actually. So I guess I'm only 1 year behind.
Okay.
Maybe not. Wait, it was Elseworlds?
Actually, I'm pretty sure you told me that you weren't caught up, but you watched Elseworlds anyway.
Oh, I think I was caught up on like maybe 1 or 2 of the shows, but not all of them, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's maybe what it is. That's the one with the, where they jump over to the, like fascist timeline or whatever, right? Or is that a different one?
that sounds like Crisis on Earth X.
That might be the one I saw. Actually, I mean, maybe I haven't seen Elseworlds.
Okay. Elseworlds is where Barry and Oliver switch, and then like John Wesley Shipp's Flash from the 90s shows up.
Weird. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. Well, I need to, I don't know. Anyway, I like that what I like about what Marvel's doing is instead of doing like so many shows, they're just doing 1 show a week. And to me, it's the perfect pace because I get to like be really excited about 1 hour of television every week. And that's been really great.
Yeah. I think the power of the DC CW crossover events is you kind of just don't need to watch. You don't have to watch everything. Like, it's fun to like be caught up on where the characters are and like know who they all are, but you don't have to.
Yeah, I might just go do that. I might just go do, but I just know that it won't be meaningful to me. But I know that, especially with the Crisis stuff, that sounded really cool. Bringing in characters that I'll know from other things would be really neat.
Yeah. Now, I mean, like post Crisis, almost everything has been crap. It's just been bad.
Oh, that sucks.
Except for friggin' Superman and Lois, the new show is just phenomenal. HBO Max is like throwing money at it. So like their production value is really high.
Rad.
And, it's just been solid as hell. And they used Crisis to sort of rewrite whatever continuity they wanted to. So it's not like constrained by what happened before. And I've just been really loving Superman and Lois, man. It is a solid show. And I say the only really good CW show of the season.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, you've told me that in text, and I've been wanting to. Yeah, I should probably check it out. I like a good, I like a good Superman story.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, so you had one other Star Trek related,
I did,
thing you wanted to throw out, the new Prodigy show.
Yeah, they released a couple of days ago character details and voice cast with some first look images, and We've got Rock Talk, an unusually bright 8-year-old girl from Picard, which is crazy because we've never seen a Picarian before. Is outside of extended universe stuff. I think they originated from Peter David's New Frontier books, so that's just nuts that they're bringing that in. I love that kind of stuff. It says Rock is a bit shy, but not when it comes to her love for animals, and she is voiced by Riley Al-Azhar. I can't say that name. She's from Doug Unplugs and Home Economics. We have Dal, a 17-year-old and member of an unknown species. He fancies himself a maverick who even in the toughest times holds strong onto his unwavering hope. And he is voiced by Brett Gray from On My Block and When They See Us. I'm going to send you this link so that you can see these pictures.
Cool.
Sorry I didn't do that before.
Oh,
I'm a bad person.
So bad.
We have Zero, a Medusan, a non-corporeal, genderless, energy-based life form. Since others would go mad at the sight of their true self, Zero wears a containment suit. They made themselves to protect others, and that is voiced by Angus Imrie of The Crown and Emma. I'm excited about that because, dude, Medusans, that is a deep pull. That's from Is There No Truth in Beauty from the original series. We came across a Medusan, and I'm just excited to see more about Medusans. That is neat. I'm digging these deep species pools.
Yeah, that's cool.
Here's the thing I'm most excited about. Jankom Pog, a 16-year-old Tellarite. Tellarites are known to relish an argument, and Jankom is no different. Regardless of opinion, he will always play devil's advocate for the sake of hearing all sides. Voiced by Jason Matsukas.
Yeah. He's great. I love Jason Matsukas.
He's very enjoyable. He usually plays the same character and everything.
Yeah.
But I always enjoy that character.
But that character in Star Trek sounds like a lot of fun.
It does. And he's a Tellarite. I like the Tellarites. I was really excited when they started showing up in Enterprise because they were one of those like integral TOS species who like, they showed up in Journey to Babel and they were like, oh, they're a big deal in the Federation. And then we just didn't see them again.
Well, it's really interesting to me that we're getting all these because like we've been talking about this show a little bit and I was kind of assuming these would be kind of new races to us because I thought they'd be coming from the Delta Quadrant. But that's not necessarily true, I guess. I guess this ship could be coming from anywhere. And this program that is Janeway could have just like originated, anywhere. So I think maybe I'm even more excited to see this show if it's based in the Alpha or Beta Quadrant where they might interact with other Star Trek stuff, other Star Trek races.
It's happening in the Delta Quadrant, but we don't know exactly like how far they've reached in the Delta Quadrant. Based on, Janeway and her research with Voyager, they may have opened wormholes into the Delta Quadrant and it may be more commonly explored and accessible.
The speed of the ships is just better and all that stuff.
Yep. We have Gwen, a 17-year-old Val Nakot, I can't say it, who was raised on her father's bleak mining planet and grew up dreaming of exploring the stars, voiced by Ella Purnell of Army of the Dead and Sweet Bitter. She was really good in Army of the Dead.
Sweet.
Murph, an age and species, his age and species is unknown, but Murph is an endearing, indestructible blob with curiously good timing and an insatiable appetite for ship parts. And he's voiced by D. Bradley Baker, one of the all-time voice actor greats from SpongeBob SquarePants and Dora the Explorer and every damn thing else that's ever been animated.
Why isn't he played by Norm Macdonald? The little squishy cube man.
Nope.
Oh.
I'm not responding to your whatever that was.
The Orville, man. The Orville.
I couldn't remember what it was called. That's how disinterested I am.
The Orville's so good. Yeah. Anyway, okay. All those sound great. And I'm actually, this has piqued my interest even more about this show because it sounds like it's going to be touching on a lot of deep Star Trek lore, which I mean, if it's touching on this deep content stuff, like I'm assuming that it will also touch on, like kind of stuff that we recognize and know well. So that sounds like a lot of fun.
And these shots that they've given us just look gorgeous.
Yeah, they really do. They look much better than I was kind of expecting, honestly. Like, real cool.
I mean, it is on par with all of the, do you know the Troll Hunters stuff? I can't remember.
I don't really, no.
All of that stuff is just like, I think you would like all of that. The Troll Hunters, and, there are 3 or 4 series, and it's, the first one was Troll Hunters, and then it was, I'm never gonna remember it. But it's like a 3-part series, like Tales of Arcadia, and one's very like mystical shit, and then like one's sci-fi and it's about aliens, and then there's like one about wizards.
Huh.
And they're solid, man. It's like
That's
Guggenheim and Mark Guggenheim from like the Arrowverse, and Guillermo del Toro and these guys who were doing this show. So
interesting.
Those are the people in charge.
Okay.
But they're very, very very solid. Like, Troll Hunters was the show that Anton Yelchin was doing when he died. And then, like, in season 2, his friend took over his voice.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, love seeing the Tellarites, love seeing the Medusans, love seeing the Precarians. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, dude. Looks great. Looks really, really cool. All right. Well, anything else you want to throw out before we put this ship into mothballs or whatever?
Nah, man, this episode's going out with the baby.
All right.
And the bathwater.
Sending it all.
Out into space. That baby's dead.
Just one sentence too far. Just one sentence too far. I should have said it sooner. Jolan True.
Live long and prosper.
Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe Podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Robertson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.